When you go to the zoo, you may see animals like this white rhino. What you may not know is many animals at the zoo are endangered and on the brink of extinction. Places like zoos and animal sanctuaries are sometimes the only places that you can see these animals. Meet Gardner, an endangered species biologist. Endangered species are animals or plants at risk of going extinct, meaning they won't be alive on Earth any longer. An endangered species biologist investigates ways to protect endangered species. Endangered species biologists do a lot of different things. Some conduct population surveys to determine how many animals are still alive. When biologists conduct population surveys, they count how many animals are in a specific area. This information informs biologists about whether species are endangered. Others work to pass laws about ways to protect endangered animals. For example, a county in Florida has a law that all indoor and outdoor lights visible from the beach must be turned off from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. This is because when baby turtles hatch at night, they tend to go in the direction of bright light instead of swimming towards the ocean. If people break this law, they may have to pay a $500 fine or go to jail. Gardner's job is to organize captive breeding programs. A breeding program is when scientists breed animals outside of their natural habitat. For example, biologists may remove a few endangered turtles from the wild and breed them in an aquarium or lab. Once the turtles are bred, they will release them back into the wild so there are more turtles. The goal of a breeding program is to increase the size of an endangered species population. Today, Gardner is working in Nova Scotia to increase the American burying beetle population. Biologists have reported that there are only 500 of these beetles left in all of Nova Scotia. Gardner is going to set up a breeding program to increase the population of beetles. His first step is to go online and research the mating habits of the species. If he doesn't research the beetles' habitat or behaviors, he may not be able to breed them successfully in captivity. Gardner Skypes Alex, another biologist who specializes in beetle behavior. Alex tells Gardner that these beetles have an unusual behavior when it's time for them to mate. The beetles will locate a dead bird or small mammal and bury it. Alex explains that beetles bury the dead animals so that they will have food for their babies. The females lay their eggs in tunnels next to the buried animal. When the eggs hatch, the babies will eat the dead animal. Gardner is glad he Skyped Alex. He will use this information when he sets up a breeding space. A breeding space is a location where he will breed the beetles. The breeding space has to look and feel similar to what beetles would find in the wild. Look at how this breeding space contains branches, soil, leaves, rocks, and plants. Once these breeding spaces are ready, Gardner will go into the wild to search for male and female beetles to bring back to his lab. This could be tricky though. There aren't many beetles left, and Gardner will have to search under logs and trees to find beetles to capture. After he captures the beetles from the wild, Gardner will pair up the beetles, one male and one female, to become mates. He will put each pair into a breeding space. Next, he will add the dead animal. Gardner plans to place a dead mouse under a leaf in each of the breeding areas. Gardner and his colleagues will then watch and record observations. He will wait for the beetles to bury the animal. Afterwards, he expects the females to lay a large number of eggs. If everything goes as planned, 45 days later, new beetles will emerge from the soil. Once the new beetles are bred, Gardner will release them into the wild so the number of American burying beetles increases. Gardner hopes that the population of American burying beetles will increase over time and they'll no longer be endangered. He is going to conduct a population survey again in the coming months to see if his breeding program was successful and to see if there are more than 500 beetles in the wild. Now it's your turn to go on an adventure and be an endangered species biologist.